Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. And as usual, let's just jump right in and not waste any time. So, quickie today, we're going to talk about crypto, a little bit about the markets, S&P 500 and Tesla. And of course, this is always just edutainment. So, the story so far, it's about crashing markets, Bitcoin, crypto volumes, adoption, buy walls, sell walls, Mt. Gox, FUD, a couple of charts, a little bit of on-chain, and a whole bunch more. As usual, there's going to be 30 nuggets of information, hopefully in as close to 10 minutes as I can get it. So first of all, if we look at the market, everything but Cosmos is beating Bitcoin. That's Cosmos, the little atom red box at the bottom. And that is kind of staggering. So a lot of people talk about, wow, flight to safety, etc., etc. But no, we're still not getting there. In fact, according to this chart, it says Bitcoin dominance 38.65%, which is a little bit different. It depends how you measure it. If you go to TradingView, Bitcoin dominance, it's about 40.6%. Anyway, enough of that right now. But Bitcoin is weak, and we're down at the 20K level. So let's look at some on-chain stuff real quick. Here you can see the Bitcoin is increasing dormancy greater than 2 years. So older coins continue to trend of increasing dormancy. Meanwhile, with the percentage of the supply last leaving its wallet 2 years ago or longer, hitting 10-month highs, we are now at that 45.1% level, which is good. And that's the supply last active 2 years plus ago. So again, the accumulation is still happening. People are not dumping despite the market. So let's look at a little bit of buy walls and sell walls. This is fascinating to see. I just pulled this from my account. And normally you can see kind of interesting price action between buyers and sellers. Normally they sort of equate. But here, as you go from 20,000, and the price that I took this screenshot at is exactly $20,000.66, which I thought was kind of interesting. Yes, we got a kick in the teeth. Price went from 25,250 to 20,000 in 10 days, and that is a volatile beast. But when you look at the amount of buyers, they are stacked up. But many of them have big buy orders in at 19,000, 18,000, 17,000, 16,000. All the way down to 10,000. In fact, it slows off at around 12.5, 13,000. But the sellers, there's not that many that are selling right now. So it's an interesting to see the skew between both. Just thought I'd share that with you all. So let's talk about Bitcoin supply and profit. Yes, this is part of the kick in the teeth as the Bitcoin price fell. So did those in profit. And right now, I think, according to on-chain analytics firm Glassnode, the percentage of the overall Bitcoin supply in profit hit a 1 month low on the day, and it's just above 55%. So 45% of you out there are not in profit on Bitcoin. Well, it will come back. It's August, low volume month, etc. And we just got that kick in the teeth, which I'll talk about as well. But there's other things before I talk about the big picture of what makes people a little bit anxious right now. And this is an article from, I forget where I scraped it from, Daily Huddle or something, the Bitcoin Report, I can't remember. No, Cointelegraph, that's what it was. Is that there's so much false information floating around about Twitter, but they talk about here Mt. Gox rumors panic Bitcoin Twitter and YouTube as Bitcoin price returns below 20K. In fact, as we speak, it's exactly at 20,000. And again, there's a lot of false information that Mt. Gox is going to release 137 Bitcoin tomorrow or today, whenever this started. And the repayment process will start tomorrow, where creditors will begin to receive their Bitcoin. But remember, everybody, 137,000 Bitcoin, if you imagine they were all to be dumped in one day, that would make up about 10 to 12% of the daily Bitcoin volume. So the market could technically absorb it. The Fed impact was far higher than I believe this Mt. Gox dump would actually be. And especially as I just showed you the buy walls as well. But the point is, this will not happen all of a sudden. It'll be very gradual over months, maybe even as long as a year. And I do believe half, worst case scenario, half will sell. The other half will keep because they've been waiting so long to have it. And they know where this is going. The early adopters of Bitcoin, if they were that early in, they're not going to change their thesis because it's far stronger now and far less risky than it ever has been before. So let's look at the Mt. Gox wallets. You can see Many of them they are all still dormant. The last one that moved was May 2018, and that was a variation of about 2,000 Bitcoin. Since then, nothing has happened. No need to panic, everybody. Everything's under control. But let's talk about this guy for a second. The old adage, don't fight the Fed. So first of all, here's a cool little picture. Jerome Powell didn't do what I expected on Friday. I thought it'd have a little bit more of a dovish tone on Friday because I did expect the PCE to be flat or better than expected, and it was. But he came down and he dropped the hammer, and that rattled the market. So the big question is he for real? Is he jawboning? Is he terrifying the market? Is he destroying demand? Or is he actually going to bring us into financial Armageddon? That is the question. And I believed he is smarter than that. He's seen history. He knows history. He knows what happened with Volcker in late 70s, early 80s, and he knows exactly where we are. So first of all, some data points from some very wise people. This is from Mr. Rosenberg. And he said, is it time to fight the Fed? Well, he believes the central bank won't risk a 20% drop in house prices and a 30% slide in stocks. Well, I believe the 20% drop in house prices is 3 months away. We're already halfway there. 10% down, another 10% to go. That's going to happen because there's always a lag between the actual stock market and real estate markets. And the 30% slide in stocks, well, if you're talking about NASDAQ, we did get to that 26, 28%. I'll show you a chart as well. Can they go back there? I don't know. We're pretty much on the way to being there right now. So let's look at this one from Dan Held. Jerome Powell, pain for households and businesses are a price to pay for bringing down inflation. Wow. Well, I don't know why Dan has his wow there, but mine is the irony is they bring us here and then they smash everything to bring us back because inflation is a monetary phenomenon. So the big question is soft landing? No. If Jerome Powell comes through with what he says, it will be a nasty crash landing. That's what I term the phrase financial Armageddon. I still believe, I hold some hope that they are smarter than that. Now, Jeremy Siegel, my former professor, said he did call the inflation surge. He saw the monetary phenomenon. He said, go slow now. They should not get overly aggressive right now. If they do, they will break things. Okay, so it's like the smartest minds are prevailing and pleading. So we'll see what happens. But the magic thing is, this is from Arthur Hayes. Stop focusing on what Jay Powell says and focus on what he does. Again, goes back to my thesis. Is he jawboning? Is he using his jaw to scare the market into submission rather than activate financial Armageddon? We'll see. Now, the truth is, inflation is a monetary phenomenon, and the Fed, this is from Bloomberg, the Fed can't fix fiscal-driven inflation, the Jackson Hole paper, and the Fed only have very blunt tools. That's my little piece at the bottom. So, excuse me for that. So here we are. Let's look at where we are today, where we've come from, where we could potentially go with the S&P 500. So here you can see we had the 18th of June bottom, 2022. It was about $3,600. I do believe that was a bottom still, despite what the Fed will do. We have 25 days, I think, till the next Fed meeting or the next CPI result. The 25 days to the next Fed meeting. But here we had a big dip yesterday. But if you look at where we are from that bottom, we are 11% away from doing another double bottom. And the question is, will we get there or will we not? I do not know. Maybe combination of low volumes in August, but August is nearly over. We're into September. September is a historically weak month, but when August is at a kick in the teeth, September can be better. So interesting to look. And people say, oh, September is very bad for Bitcoin, but remember, Bitcoin follows the stock market. Bitcoin is correlated with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, more so than NASDAQ. So a tiny bit of good news, and a big thank you to Sanjay for sharing this. Despite the summer doldrums, volumes are up. And you can see here the volumes of 30-day change, volumes for total crypto volume 20%, altcoin volume 9.89%, and Bitcoin 35%. So there's been a lot of activity. The question is, where is this all coming? Is it selling? Is it buying? Is it a combination? Obviously, it's a combination, but that was interesting. And I think this chart is literally issued right before the crash on Friday afternoon. So let's talk a little bit about Ethereum, because we did hit on altcoins real briefly. This is from Sentiment. And if you look at this chart, it says rising price, falling net worth growth. This is not a good divergence, ladies and gentlemen. And per Sentiment, I always say watch for the network adoption. And ETH's network growth has been declining steadily since the start of August, while the price continues to climb, obviously because of the merge. But this divergence typically is not a healthy one, as it indicates that there's very little new market participants coming in to support the price, and everyone that wanted a position is probably already in. We hit my magical Ethereum number is nearly 1,400. We were within $50 of that this morning. So big dip. Again, we'll watch carefully. Let's look at Solana real quick. This is the latest from Solana cumulative fee payers. These are cumulative wallets that are actually active, doing things on the actual blockchain. And you can see it goes from strength to strength. So despite all the crap that's been thrown at Solana, it's still growing. Despite the bear market, it's still growing. The activity, the wallets, the users, value transfer still growing, while other chains are actually shrinking right now. Vasil, a quick Cardano update. Charles Hoskinson, he also was one of the early folks within Ethereum. He told viewers that the hard fork will occur sometime in September. Perhaps not coincidentally, again, just guessing here, but it's interesting, the timing. I don't think the delay is on purpose. The delay is because of bugs. It was, I think, was originally supposed to launch in early July, but that didn't happen. Here we are. But now it's supposed to happen around September 15th. Coincidence? That's the same time Ethereum will happen. Is Cardano trying to steal some thunder from Ethereum? I don't know, but it'll be interesting to watch. Imagine if they both hard forked in the same day. That'd be fun. So let's talk about a little bit of Tesla versus NASDAQ. This is just an interesting chart. I was going through 100 charts this morning, and I thought this was fascinating because, you know, they say Bitcoin is correlated to NASDAQ, but this is just since the beginning of the year-to-date numbers. And the Tesla versus NASDAQ. Tesla is up 20%, while the NASDAQ is down 20%. And the Tesla price is just under that 200-day moving average. And typically right after the split, which happened on Thursday, there was a post-split duck. We are down only 3% in a very down market. Remember, the volatility of Tesla is far higher than that of the stock market. So if the stock market tanks, say, 3%, you could expect Tesla to tank 5%, 6%, but it didn't. So it's holding up pretty strong post-split. So we'll watch this very carefully. And in a tiny bit of sad news, this report came out that Afghan authorities shut down at least 16 crypto exchanges. And the really bad thing is the Taliban regime obviously boosted crypto adoption, especially among ladies in Afghanistan. And now they're trying to put the hammer on that by shutting it down, because the last thing they want is for people to have any type of freedom over there with digital assets. So take this as bad news, but take it as, why do these types of authoritarian regimes kill something? Because they want to protect their people? No. So again, another feather in the cap for Bitcoin. It's obviously a good thing, and cryptocurrencies in general. So with that, everybody, happy Saturday morning. See you all tomorrow for the weekly Q&A, all the top questions. And we have every week, the questions get tougher and tougher, but you'll enjoy the one tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed and like the content. Get it out there. Thanks all. Happy Saturday. Thanks to all the mods in the chat too. If you want, this was about 30 pieces of knowledge in, how long are we live? 15 minutes? But 14 minutes. Yes, that is one knowledge drop every 28, 25 seconds. Thanks everybody. See you all tomorrow. Bye.